Right now, get ready for rain and lots of it. An alert day in the forecast as wet weather moves into southern Wisconsin overnight. Plus, the pieces left for fire investigators to work with after a home goes up in flames in Necedah, killing 6. And a hurricane growing in strength. A look at the damage as Hurricane Beryl makes landfall on part of the Caribbean. That's all ahead on News 3 Now at 10. Thanks for joining us. A sunny start for what is to some a work week, for others a holiday week. But rain is on its way to spoil some of the fun ahead of the 4th of July. The first warned weather team calling for an alert day due to the amount of rain that southern Wisconsin could see these next few days. Meteorologist Jacob Madison joins us now with what you need to know in the first warned forecast. Jacob.
Thanks, Armand. We're still kind of seeing the calm before the storm, quite literally, as conditions are still fairly dry across southern Wisconsin, but we do have a few areas where some light showers have begun. But right now, current temperature 67 degrees. We are seeing mostly cloudy skies. That's been the case for especially the second half of the day. But looking at the current radar, some light showers near Dane County, a little bit more consistent rain in the southwestern portion of the state. Rain is expected to intensify and move into our area later in the overnight hours, but we're not expected to see a lot of thunderstorm activity early tomorrow, as we are going to have 2 rounds of consistent rainfall. So here's a look at the forecast throughout the night. We're going to see that consistent rain move in, especially north and northwest of Dane County in the overnight hours. But as we get closer to sunrise, we'll see more consistent rain in the far southern portion of the state for Dane County and surrounding areas. And the rainfall could be heavy for possibly a few hours. But as I mentioned, we're not going to see a lot of thunderstorms during the morning. But we could see some thunderstorm activity later in the day. But that will be after a dry period, for the most part, I should say, during the afternoon. Now, I'll talk more in detail about the evening forecast, but as Armand mentioned, we have that alert day in the forecast for the heavy rain. I'll talk about just how much rain we could see coming up a bit later.
Jacob, thank you. Tonight, we're learning more about the 6 people killed inside a rural Necedah home early Sunday morning. Of those killed, 3 were children. St. Mark Ministries, a church in De Pere, posting on its Facebook that church members and some extended family were vacationing at the time that the home caught fire. The fire broke out around 2:30 Sunday morning on Morrow's Mile Road, northwest of Buckhorn State Park, and there were many more people inside the house, though at the time of the blaze, according to neighbors, about a dozen people made it out of the home safely. It took fire crews hours to extinguish that fire and remaining hotspots. One neighbor telling us the fire turning the early morning sky from dark to orange.
The woods behind you were all just orange, and the sky was orange. It was already totally engulfed pretty quickly.
The fire is believed to have started on accident, but investigators are still not sure how it began. A GoFundMe page has been created to help the family of the victims. We've attached a link to that on channel3000.com. Back in Madison, a 31-year-old woman was taken to jail Saturday night after police say she attempted to punch a bar employee after being asked to leave. Officers were called to a bar on the 110 block of West Main Street at 9:15 that night. Employees told them the woman was drunk, disruptive, and shouting at customers. Police say she had left on her own once before, but returned and tried to punch an employee when being escorted out. The woman was arrested for disorderly conduct, attempted battery, and resisting arrest. And Madison police on Saturday also arrested a 21-year-old Iowa man who they say was drunk driving and had a gun in the car. Officers found the gun after responding to a car crash at Highway 30 and East Wash Saturday afternoon. The man had gotten out of the vehicle and met with officers. They say he showed signs of being intoxicated. Open containers of alcohol were found in the vehicle. Wisconsin receiving a visit today from a top ally of President Biden. U.S. Representative Jim Clyburn of South Carolina campaigning in support of Biden's re-election earlier today in Milwaukee. The 83-year-old Democrat met with faith leaders, voting rights activists, and local leaders. The visit from Clyburn comes on the heels of a lackluster performance from Biden at last week's CNN presidential debate. Clyburn has since defended the president.
He has a record to run on. I know. I've been a part of these things. Preparation for debates. I know information overload. I call this instance is preparation overload. I saw it in the very first question.
Clyburn's endorsement of Biden in 2020 was instrumental to the campaign winning the election. A live look tonight at the Supreme Court in Washington. Earlier today, justices ruled 6-3 former President Donald Trump can claim immunity from criminal prosecution for some of his actions in his federal election interference case. Justices rejected a decision from a federal appeals court earlier this year. The lower court had ruled the president could not claim immunity for his alleged attempts to overturn the 2020 election results. In the majority opinion, Chief Justice John Roberts cited a lack of factual analysis in the lower court's previous opinion, rejecting Trump's claims of immunity.
Jack Smith's federal case relating to 2020 election subversion. This now goes back to the district court, which has to hold a factual hearing to decide what was in the scope or out of the scope of the job. That in itself is appealable.
The decision will likely further delay a trial on the charges pending against Trump. He had argued that without absolute immunity, presidents would have to worry about being targeted once they leave the White House. And you found out about today's ruling with a push alert through the Channel 3000 mobile app. A reminder to download it for free and turn on push notifications so you never miss a breaking story. Steve Bannon, a former White House strategist for former President Trump, began a 4-month prison sentence earlier today, reporting to a Connecticut prison. He was convicted for not complying with the now defunct House Select Committee that investigated the January 6th Capitol attacks. Last week, the Supreme Court denied a long-shot effort by Bannon to avoid reporting to prison while appealing the conviction. The prison in Connecticut is a low-security corrections facility with less than 1,200 inmates. A judge in Massachusetts declared a mistrial in the murder trial of Karen Reed, a woman accused of killing her police officer boyfriend with her car and leaving him to die in a snowstorm. Reed faced second-degree murder and other charges in the death of Boston officer John O'Keefe. He was found dead outside the home of another police officer in January 2022. An autopsy found he died of blunt force trauma and hypothermia. Prosecutors say Reed had been drinking heavily before dropping O'Keefe at a party, then hitting him with her car as she drove away. But the defense argued she was the victim, that O'Keefe was killed inside the home and left for dead outside. They handed the judge with a note saying it would be futile to continue deliberating.
The deep division is not due to a lack of effort or diligence, but rather a sincere adherence to our individual principles and moral convictions. To continue to deliberate would be futile and only serve to force us to compromise these deeply held beliefs.
Before them.
Prosecutors said in a statement they intend to retry the case. And Hurricane Beryl is ripping through the Caribbean as a Category 4 today. It delivered violent winds, intense rainfall, and a life-threatening storm surge. Sherelle Hubbard shows us the islands getting whipped by that storm.
Violent winds, intense rainfall, and a life-threatening storm surge on Monday as Hurricane Beryl moved through the Caribbean Sea, making landfall shortly after 11 a.m. on Grenada's Carriacou Island and bringing with it sustained winds of 150 miles per hour. Beryl proved to be a dangerous Category 4.
It's scary.
In Barbados, Richard Foster is one of hundreds of people who moved into a hurricane shelter. According to the National Hurricane Center, the storm surge flooded parts of the Grenadines.
I know it would have a lot of damage in that area, so I decided not to stay.
While Foster was taking shelter indoors, a number of Barbadians were in a harbor outdoors trying to salvage their boats and their businesses.
So much destruction is in here right now, so much destruction. This is my livelihood. Pray for our families. There's nothing more we can do. We can't even save the boats. We tried.
According to data from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, Hurricane Beryl is the strongest known hurricane to ever pass through the Grenadines between Martinique and Trinidad and Tobago since Atlantic hurricane records began in 1851.
I'm not taking any chances with it. I prefer to be here, write it out, and then tomorrow see what happens.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
Back in the Midwest, this is all that remains of a barn after it caught fire this morning in Woodstock, Illinois. That's about 85 miles southeast of Madison. Firefighters say the closest fire hydrant was more than 2 miles away, requiring several water tenders bringing water to the scene to fight the fire. Fortunately, there were no reports of injuries, but the structure was left charred and destroyed by the blaze. Damages right now are estimated at more than $1 million. The cause of that fire is under investigation. Staying in Illinois, where a missing Purple Heart medal was returned to the family of its recipient, a late Pearl Harbor veteran. The medal was returned to the son of the late Master Sergeant Jerome Even, who served in the U.S. Army Air Corps. His son, Jim Even, said his father told him the Purple Heart was earned during the December 7, 1941 attack on Pearl Harbor. Jim happy to be back in possession of what was once his father's.
You know, when you're on this earth, you know, and you're not going to be here forever, what you want to know is that someone's going to remember you. You know, my dad would be thrilled.
The medal was put in a bank safe deposit box by Mr. Even, but he died at the age of 92 in April 2014. The contents of the box ended up at the state treasurer's office, which works to reunite people with unclaimed property. And if you want to get something accomplished, make sure a woman is in charge. A new study shows why having more female managers in the workplace is good for business. Researchers at Harvard Business School found female managers are better at building rapport with teams made up of men and women, and this leads to better communication and better organization and, in turn, better production. The study found employees seemed happier and were less reluctant to leave their jobs because women are better than men at creating schedules and looking out for workers' interests. Well, if you're heading to the airport this week, give yourself some extra time. Still ahead at 10, 4th of July travel already underway at airports across America. What to know if you're one of the millions traveling for Independence Day.
You're watching News 3 Now, voted Station of the Year 2023 by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association.
Are you searching for a fresh career? Then join the team at Chalk D Building Systems. We're expanding, now with 2 Sun Prairie locations, and we're looking for individuals to join our team as assemblers, material handlers, order pickers, and machine operators. Chalk D Building Systems competitive pay starts at $22 per hour plus comprehensive benefits. 3 shifts are available with overtime potential, and you'll become part of our 100% employee-owned team. Make your next career move on the careers page at chalkd.com.
With Sweeto Metal Roofing, you get quality metal roofs installed by the best in the business. A metal roof means no fading, no storm repairs, true sustainability, and lower energy bills.
Sweeto Metal Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
Brothers Maine enjoys 4th of July festivities with family, friends, and fabulous kitchen and laundry deals. Our fireworks of savings on GE appliances and free delivery will make you ooh and ah. Feel like family at Brothers Maine.
I was raised by my wonderful grandparents who took care of me when my mother was struggling with addiction. Later, when Nana got frail, I was privileged to help take care of her. I believe it's our duty to honor our elders. So I've worked hard in the Senate to protect Medicare and nursing home care from those who've tried relentlessly to cut benefits. The least we can do is help those who've helped us. I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
We're a really busy family of 6 and moving into a new house, and Empire made it really easy.
They brought samples to our house, quality products, and installation on our schedule.
And we're really happy with everything.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today. Here's to sweet summer days together in Wisconsin. To discovering magic in every moment. Here's to supper club celebrations. And to a lifetime of memories. Here's to reconnecting through a world filled with wonder and dancing until the sun goes down. Here's to those who Wisconsin.
Are you ready to make junk disappear?
I am so looking forward to this.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point. Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
We'll be there before you hang up the phone.
Howie Mandel is here.
My hobby is I take pictures.
I love pictures.
I took this one from the back hall.
Oh, you take
Yeah.
Then get in the game with the Jennifer Hudson Show.
On the next Jennifer Hudson Show at 3. You're watching News 3 Now at 10. Moving forward.
New tonight, entries are now being accepted for the Dairy Cattle Show at the World Dairy Expo this fall in Madison. If you have cattle you'd like to show off, consider signing up. Entries can be submitted between now and September 15th, but entries sent in after September 2nd will cost extra. The Dairy Cattle Show runs September 29th through October 4th at the Alliant Energy Center. To submit an entry, just look for this story at channel3000.com. And if you're looking for work in Rock County, a job fair will be happening later this month at the Beloit Public Library. It's about 2.5 weeks away, Wednesday, July 17th from 1 to 3 p.m. in the library's community room. More than 20 registered employers from the Rock County area will be there. The Southwestern Wisconsin Workforce Development Board says there are more than 275 reported jobs needing to be filled. Resources at the library, like computers, will help applicants submit applications and print resumes. And Wisconsin Dells will always be a popular destination for many during this holiday week. And you might think of the Dells as the water park capital of the world, but it's also a magic town. The Rick Wilcox Magic Theater is celebrating 25 years of leaving guests in wonder and amazement. It's just one of many attractions in the Dells, attractions that have helped Wisconsin have back-to-back record-breaking tourism years for 2022 and 2023. And maybe you're going to hop on a plane and travel out of state for the Independence Day holiday. This right now, a live look at Los Angeles International Airport. If you're flying, you can expect packed airports. Between last Friday and next Monday, TSA expects to screen more than 28 million people, with next Sunday being the expected busiest.
No one likes that feeling of being rushed, especially at a busy airport during a busy travel season. So just allow that extra time. There is nothing wrong with getting to your gate early.
AAA says nearly 71 million people will travel 50 miles or more this 4th of July week. And maybe your plans for the 4th involve staying closer to home. The wet weather this week means Wednesday might be your best chance to get outdoors and onto the water. The Wisconsin DNR sharing reminders in case you're spending some of that holiday week on a boat. It seems obvious, of course, but the easiest thing to do to stay safe, wear a life jacket. The DNR says there were 28 boulders killed last year on our waterways. All but one were directly related to lack of life jackets. Other tips include choosing a designated driver, making sure your boat is visible with lights, and staying patient in congested waterways. Do all of this, you're sure to have a great time.
The water is always a potential place for danger. That being said, it's also a great place to be able to connect with friends, family, have those incredible summertime memories.
Local law enforcement agencies are also participating in Operation Dry Water, a 3-day campaign from Thursday to Saturday to prevent boating under the influence. And a popular Madison boating spot on the Yahara River is no more. Gilligan's Island, although it's more of an isle, has been a party spot for Madison boaters for decades. A rope swing had been attached to a tree, but that tree toppled over this weekend.
I'm not going to say it ruins your 4th of July, but it certainly puts a little damper on your plans.
It's been an icon of the whole Gilligan's Island, the tree and the rope, you know, for family and friends and for kids.
The Dane County Land and Water team cleared the tree from the water earlier today, leaving more space for those participating in Independence Day festivities there on Thursday. And lots of rain on the way beginning overnight. Meteorologist Jacob Montesano returns now with the first warm forecast. Jacob.
Thanks, Armand. We are expected to see plenty of showers and storms, not just overnight, but throughout the day on Tuesday, with another storm chance as we head towards 4th of July. But it looks like the storm chance will push off until the overnight hours for the 4th. And overall, we are going to be warm, but certainly not hot over the next 7 to 10 days, as temperatures will remain near average in the lower 80s to upper 70s. But for tomorrow, we do have that alert day. Heavy rain, maybe an isolated strong storm, but the alert day is mostly for the heavy rain and the possibility that we could see some localized flooding. And again, this is for all of southern Wisconsin, beginning late tonight and continuing through early Tuesday night. Now, I do want to mention that there is that chance that there could be some severe weather with a marginal risk for Dane County and places to the west and southwest. Slight risk in Iowa and actually further southwest off the map that you see right here. There actually is an enhanced risk. So we're not going to deal with a lot of severe weather, thankfully, but places to the southwest still could. So here's a look at future track over the next 24 to 36 hours. The first round of rain will move in overnight, especially impacting areas north and northwest of Dane County. Again, this is mostly before sunrise, but now as we get closer to sunrise, we'll see more consistent rain move a little further south. The rain's going to move to the northeast, but it's going to extend further south as we get closer to sunrise. And then after sunrise in the early morning hours, we're going to see consistent rain for much of our areas, including Dane County and places to the south. Rain could be heavy for a few hours, but it will clear out by the late morning, and we're not expecting a lot of thunderstorm activity for the morning hours. But as we get to the afternoon, a lot of the area will actually remain dry. We could see some showers near the Wisconsin-Illinois border, with more consistent rain moving in during the evening. And around sunset is the best chance to see thunderstorms, and a few hours after sunset, possibly some small severe thunderstorms here and there. But heavy rain is possible for a few locations as we head into the early overnight hours Tuesday. But then the early morning hours Wednesday is when things will begin to clear up. And by the time we get to sunrise, we're only going to be dealing with a few light showers Wednesday. And then we are going to be seeing sunshine by the time we get to the late morning Wednesday. And that will continue through the rest of the day. So total precipitation could possibly be exceeding 3 inches for a few locations. Now, I do want to point out that the latest model run had the band of 3 to 5 inches a little bit further southwest near Platteville and Mineral Point. This model run has it a bit further north, so a lot can still change between which areas see the most rainfall. But everyone should expect to see some rain, and most of the area should expect to see some heavy rain. Again, not a lot of thunderstorm activity, but the rain could last for a while and also could come in several waves. After tomorrow, we're going to be dry on Wednesday, although we will be a little bit warm. Highs will be in the middle 80s. Lower 80s for 4th of July. Chance of storms in the afternoon, but as I mentioned, looks like the storm chance may push off to the overnight hours, so we could be dry for much of the day. Rain is likely for Friday, but likely not as much as tomorrow. And then we have a few other storm chances. But if you notice the temperatures, nothing too bad. We're going to be mostly in the lower 80s to upper 70s.
And coming up in sports, the Mallards looking to clinch a playoff spot tonight. Will their fast start be enough? Find out next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
At RG Heating and Air Conditioning, our promise to you is 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Guaranteed service, repairs, and replacements. Installing quality Trane equipment. Trust your home with RG Heating and AC.
If there's one thing we like, it's choices. And your Ford dealer is the place to start. With a full lineup of vehicles and available powertrains. Get your ideal combination of power and capability with gas, hybrid, or all electric. But more important than the power you choose is what you choose to do with it.
Choose FlexBuy on a new Ford Explorer and get 1.9% APR financing for 66 months. Only at your local Wisconsin Ford dealer.
I'm so happy. I just put this dress on that I haven't worn in over 10 years.
This summer, feel confident from head to toe with Sono Bello Permanent Fat Removal and get summer body ready in just one visit.
I saw the results immediately. It's the best I have felt since I was in my 20s.
My waist is tiny. I'm very, very happy.
I'm nearly 50, y'all. And my abs haven't been this flat since before I had kids.
For a limited time, take advantage of Sono Bello's biggest sale of the year. Sono Bello's board-certified surgeons use micro-laser technology to safely target and remove your diet-resistant fat cells for good on your stomach, hips and thighs, back, and so much more.
It will change your life. It did for me.
I can't wait till the summertime hit. Hot Mom Summer, here I come.
Call 1-800-905-6520 now or go to sonobello.com to claim special pricing.
Lane's Farm and Fleet's 4th of July sale is going on now, so celebrate and save with great summer deals throughout the store. Like men's work and sport pocket tees, $12.99. Rewards members save an extra $2. 36-pound bags of Estate Lawn Fertilizer, $29.99. And select dog treats are on sale, 20% off. In a rush? Place your orders online at farmandfleet.com and pick your items up in our convenient drive-thru in just 1 hour.
Find value at Lane's Farm and Fleet.
You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with early pay on direct deposits. So when you get invited to your 3rd destination wedding in as many months, we'll be there with you.
When we first met Todd, we thought Jen was kidding.
You've got this with Associated Bank.
We're a family-owned farm. With all the deliveries we make to stores and restaurants, when gas prices go up, we get hit pretty hard. We all know these big oil companies make huge profits off us. And I just think, how many guys like me do they have to screw over to make money? When I heard about President Biden's plan to crack down on big oil companies, I thought, okay, thank God. Because it's about damn time big oil companies started paying their fair share.
The first half of the Northwoods League is nearly in the books. 2 games left and a big opportunity for the Mallards. Beat the Woodchucks tonight and tomorrow, and they win the Great Lakes West Division, and in the process, clinch a spot in the playoffs. But first things first, they have to get the first game out of the way. Cal Fisher back with the Mallards, and he'd like this. Shy Robinson, the leadoff man for Madison, and he joins the Big Bird bomb squad. Robertson's solo shot to right put the Mallards up 1-0. That's all the offense they'd get. Mallards fall 2-1 in 10 innings. Brewers opening up a 4-game series with the Rockies, tied at 3 in the 5th, and Wild Bill changes that with one big swing. William Contreras sends a solo shot to right to give the Crew their first lead of the game. This one currently tied at 7 in the 10th inning. The count of Badgers heading to the Olympics is up over 10. One of those athletes competing on the world stage in Paris is Phoebe Bacon. The Wisconsin swimmer secured her spot thanks to a second-place finish in the 200 backstroke. And even though it's been a little over a week since it happened, it's still hard for her to put into words what qualifying for the games a second time means.
Making it two times just makes it that much more crazy. Team USA and the USA is fast at swimming. We are good, and it still hasn't fully set in with me what making the Olympics 2 times kind of really means.
And we'll have more on Phoebe's trip to Paris coming up tomorrow. Well, after not making any moves on day 1 of the NBA's free agency period, the Bucks made a couple on day 2. First, signing DeLon Wright to a 1-year deal worth $3.3 million. Wright spent time with the Wizards and Heat last year, averaging 4.5 points per game. They also added Stanley Amude from the Pistons on a 2-way deal. And Luke Fickell has done it again, adding another big-time recruit to his roster with the addition of Hardy Watts. The 4-star offensive lineman chose Wisconsin over Bama, Clemson, Michigan, and a handful of other big-time programs. Watts is tabbed the 16th rated offensive line recruit in the nation in the 2025 class. We're back after this.
No question, I want to spend these months at home with hospice care from A Grace, so I can be with my dog and my grandkids and their laughter.
A Grace, caring every step of the way.
Wow, Wayne, that is a beautiful window.
It sure is, Jeff. It really tackles energy efficiency.
Sure has a nice slide.
It's one of the best screenplays I've ever seen.
They're so easy to close. I'd say it's a grand slam.
If you guys keep making those dad jokes, you're gonna be a real pain in my neck.
Oh, that's a good one. Did you hear about this one, Bob?
Get as low as $18 per window and $81 per patio door per month.
Visit PellaWI.com today.
Introducing TPC Wisconsin, Madison's elite golf club with worldwide privileges. Plus extraordinary amenities to keep you active year-round, to keep you fit, and well-equipped for the course, to keep you connected to what matters the most. Play where the pros play with an exclusive membership at TPC Wisconsin. Make it your club today.
Every week it costs more to feed my family.
Prices are just out of control.
Boy, inflation is really hurting us. It's got to stop.
Career politicians like Biden and Baldwin just don't get it. They're making things harder for folks here in Wisconsin. By stopping the crazy spending that caused inflation and cutting red tape, we can bring prices down. It's time for a change. I'm Eric Hovde. I approve this message. I'll get the job done for Wisconsin families.
They say that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Well, they are correct.
Enjoy one of our tasty steak patty sandwiches paired with a $2 medium-iced coffee.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
We went with the website nuts.com because nuts and dried fruit and pretzels and trail mix and gummies and espresso beans and energy squares and fudge and jelly beans and a whole lot more.com was already taken. Get 20% off and free shipping on your first order at nuts.com.
It's
red, white, and bargains during Hy-Vee's 4-day sale this Monday through Thursday. 6-pack bottles of Pepsi products, just $2.99 each when you buy 4. Whole seedless watermelon, just $3.98 each. Fresh ground chuck, just $3.98 a pound. Ritz crackers or Chips Ahoy cookies, just $1.99. Our special recipe brats or patties, 10 for just $10. And Lay's kettle cooked rolled gold or munchies, just $1.99 each when you buy 4. Monday through Thursday, only at Hy-Vee.
Chris Stanford, News 3 Now This Morning, moving forward.
Tonight, Colbert's got Chris Hemsworth.
I'm afraid that's all we have time for. Thank you so much.
Tonight on CBS.
Well, finally tonight, you won't see this truck out on the open road. It'll be out on the open water up in the Stevens Point area. John Yock spent the winter building this pontoon out of a Peterbilt cab. His wife called it the Semi-Conscious. John's a former fabricator and builds a project every year, and he decided he wanted to go bigger this year.
I happened to see one in Florida last summer and got an idea. I wanted to build one, so start collecting parts and pieces all summer and started working on it in December full time, and by, I don't know, June, we put it on the water.
I sat down with John to see just how he did it and everything the Semi-Conscious can do. You can see that story only on News 3 Now tomorrow at 10 p.m.
Horn still works.
Horn still works, let me tell you. I heard it a lot. You're going to hear it a lot in the story tomorrow. So.
I'm excited for that story. I'll be here, so
yeah,
I'm intrigued.
It's so smooth. You wouldn't expect it to be so smooth.
Did he let you drive?
He did.
Did he actually hit just the gas pedal like a normal car and to let the boat go?
You're gonna have to watch tomorrow to find out.
That's true. Yeah, I don't want to spoil
we
too much.
We can't wait that long. Come on, give us a secret.
Yeah, give you a secret?
Yeah, give us a secret.
Oh.
Well, if he says it right now, it's not a secret because everyone can see it.
It's not a secret anymore. It's not a surprise. I'm really good at surprises. Speaking of surprises, hopefully none in the weather today, Jacob.
Yeah, I mean, we have the alert day tomorrow, so if it does rain, that wouldn't be a surprise. So we have 2 rounds of consistent rainfall expected. We'll see consistent heavy rain in the morning and then mostly a break in the afternoon. We could still see some isolated showers, but then during the evening, we'll see more consistent showers and thunderstorms move through the area. Some of those could be severe during the evening, but we're not too concerned about the severe weather risk. For Wednesday, we'll see sunshine, highs in the middle 80s, and then lower 80s to upper 70s for the rest of the 10-day forecast. Chance of storms for July 4th, but it looks like that rain may push off until the overnight hours. So hopefully we'll be mostly dry then.
Thanks so much for joining us. See you on News 3 Now tomorrow morning.